Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Today we're doing a bit of a strategic teardown. We're looking at a beast of an exam, the Cisco 300-830.
That's the one, the
Yeah.
implementing Cisco WebEx Contact Center cert.
Exactly. And I know when people hear exam prep, their eyes glaze over. They think flashcards, late nights.
Right. Rote memorization.
But our mission today is a little different.
It is. We aren't just going to rattle off answers, A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
We want to treat this material, these practice questions, more like a map. Use them to really understand the architecture of modern customer service.
I love that framing. It's not just how do I pass, but how does this whole machine actually work?
Exactly.
So we have a stack of 10 specific practice questions that really get to the core logic. But before we dive into the scenarios, can you just set the landscape for us?
Sure.
If you look at this exam, where do the points actually come from?
So the breakdown is fascinating. It tells you exactly what Cisco values right now. It's not an even split at all. You have two huge chunks. First, telephony and call routing. That's 30%.
30, okay, that's the plumbing.
That's the plumbing. Then you have tenant configuration and reporting. That's another 30%.
Wow. So that's 60% of the entire exam right there.
Right. Just setting it up and keeping the lights on. If you can't connect a call and you can't configure a user, nothing else matters.
Makes sense. What else?
Then you've got digital channels sitting at 15%.
Okay.
And finally, and I find this part the most telling, advanced features in AI, that commands a solid 25%.
So a quarter of the exam.
A full quarter of the exam is dedicated to the smart stuff.
That is huge. It really shows you where things are heading.
It does.
Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to walk through these 10 scenarios. I'll throw the problem at you. We'll find the answer. But more importantly, I want you to unpack the logic. Why does it work that way? Ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Deep dive part 1. The infrastructure. Starting with the nuts and bolts.
Telephony and configuration.
Here's the first scenario. And honestly, this sounds like a classic migration headache. A company has this massive existing on-prem telephony system. They want to move to WebEx Contact Center, but they can't just rip and replace overnight. They need to connect the old world to the new. So the question is, which component lets them do that?
This is a fundamental one.
The options are A, local gateway, B, cloud-connected PSTN, C, virtual desktop integration, or D, public internet proxy.
And if you're dealing with hybrid environments, which, let's be real, almost everyone is, this is your bread and butter, the answer is A, local gateway.
Local gateway. Okay, walk me through that, because to me, cloud-connected PSTN sounds like it should be the answer. It has cloud right in the name.
It does, and that's a great question. It's about the direction of control. Cloud-connected PSTN is when you're essentially handing the keys to the cloud provider.
You're all in on the cloud.
You're all in. You're saying you handled the carrier connection, but the scenario specified connecting existing on-premises telephony. You want to keep your current hardware, your contracts.
Right, you're not getting rid of it.
Not yet. So the local gateway acts like a diplomat. Think of it as a translator sitting on the edge of your network.
A translator between what and what?
Between your local voice systems, your legacy PBX, and the WebEx cloud. It just routes the calls between them.
So it's the bridge.
It's the bridge. That term, hybrid telephony integration, that's what this enables. The other options are just not in the right ballpark.
Right, like virtual desktop integration is about screens, not calls.
Exactly. Wrong department. So local gateway is the critical link.
Got it. Okay, moving on. Question 2. We've got the phone lines connected. Now let's think about the agent sitting at the desk.
The human element.
The scenario is this. An administrator wants to customize exactly which widgets and tools an agent sees on their screen. They don't want to clutter it, just the essentials. Your options: A, desktop layout, B, network policy, C, security certificate, or D, user profile.
This one is all about operational efficiency. I mean, if you show an agent 50 tools when they only need 5, you're just killing their productivity.
Oh, absolutely. Analysis paralysis.
Yes, sure. The answer here is A, desktop layout.
Desktop layout. It sounds simple enough, but is it just like dragging and dropping windows around?
It's a bit more sophisticated. In WebEx, the desktop layout is a specific configuration. It's this JSON-based thing that dictates the entire interface.
Right.
The widgets, the screen real estate, the whole flow.
So you can have different layouts for different roles.
That's the ideal use case. Role-based workflows. Your Tier 1 agent gets a simple script widget. Your Tier 2 lead gets deep diagnostic tools. You use the desktop layout to tailor that experience.
So it's not a network policy, which is traffic.
Nope. And it's definitely not a security certificate. That's for encryption.
And what about user profile? That one feels close.
It does feel close, but a user profile is usually about the person's identity. You know, their name, their email, what team they're on. It doesn't define the structure of their workspace.
I see. That's the job of the desktop layout.
Uniquely its job.
Well, that leads us perfectly into question 3. We know how to change what an agent sees, but how do we control what they're allowed to do?
Ah, the crucial distinction.
The scenario asks, where does an admin manage the specific roles and permissions for different staff? Your options are A, desktop layouts, B, user configuration, C, historical reports, or D, digital connectors.
And this is the distinction that trips a lot of people up. We just said desktop layout is the visual layer.
Right.
But for permissions, who can be a supervisor, who can listen to calls, who can delete a recording, that is all B. User configuration.
So user configuration is the security gatekeeper.
It is, 100%. This is where you define the hierarchy, manage the accounts, the roles, and all the privileges that come with them.
And it's dangerous if you mix those two up.
Very dangerous. You could give someone a really pretty screen with the layout, but no power to actually do their job. Or worse, you give the wrong person the power to delete everything.
Yikes. Okay. So let's pause and recap. We have a local gateway connecting our old phones. We've got desktop layouts for a clean workspace. And user configuration so people have the right keys.
A solid foundation.
Now let's shift to deep dive part 2. The customer journey. Routing, quality. This is where the rubber meets the road. Question 9 in our source material hits on something I think we've all suffered through.
I can probably guess what it is.
A customer calls in, the wait is 10 minutes. They want to opt out of waiting, but, and this is key, they want to keep their spot in line. What feature is this?
Oh, yeah.
Options: A, direct transfer, B, priority routing, C, callback, D, silent monitoring.
This is probably the single most important feature for customer satisfaction scores. The answer is C, callback.
The savior of our collective sanity.
It really is. In exam terms, this is all about queue management. The system holds the position for you virtually. The customer hangs up, goes about their day.
Makes a sandwich.
Right. And when their turn comes up, the system automatically dials them back.
It seems so obvious. But help me distinguish it from priority routing. Couldn't that also help them?
Priority routing helps the business more than the customer's patience. It bimps a VIP to the front of the line, but they still have to wait on the line.
They're still holding the phone, listening to that music.
Exactly. Callback creates a virtual placeholder. It respects the customer's time. The other options aren't even close.
Right. Silent monitoring is for the boss, not the customer.
Not at all.
Speaking of listening in, let's look at question 4. This is about compliance, the scenario. We need to ensure all customer calls are stored for later review.
Standard procedure.
Your options: A, desktop profile, B, routing strategy, C, recording configuration, D, bandwidth allocation.
This is a compliance and quality staple. The answer is C, recording configuration.
Okay, I have to be honest. Bandwidth allocation feels like a trick answer. Recordings take up space. You need bandwidth.
It's a classic distractor, absolutely. And yes, you need bandwidth to move the data, but that setting isn't what turns the recording on.
Okay.
The recording configuration is the policy setting. It dictates retention, how long you keep the files, and the capture rules. Do we record 100% of calls? Do we record screens? This is all for training, auditing, legal compliance.
The bandwidth is the pipe.
But recording configuration is the faucet. If you don't turn on the faucet, it doesn't matter how big the pipe is.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so call's over. Question 10 asks about the aftermath.
The follow-up.
Which component automatically collects a rating and comments after an interaction ends? Options: A, real-time dashboard, B, historical report, C, recording playback, D, post-call survey.
This is all about closing that feedback loop. The answer is, of course, D, post-call survey.
Why is this its own component? Why isn't it just part of, say, a historical report?
Because the source of the data is totally different. A historical report acts on operational data.
How long the call was.
Exactly. The call lasted 4 minutes. It can't tell you if the customer was happy or furious. The post-call survey captures that sentiment, that qualitative data, right at the moment of truth.
Right. It's the difference between knowing the surgery took an hour versus knowing if the patient feels better.
A bit dramatic, but yes. That's the idea. One is a metric of time, the other is a metric of success.
Okay, let's get technical. Deep dive part 3. Under the hood, integrations, APIs, this is where I think people get tripped up.
This is where it gets fun.
Question 5. An advanced flow needs to pull customer data from an external CRM, like Salesforce, during a live call. How did it do that? Options: A, menu node; B, play message; C, end flow; D, HTTP request.
This is where we leave the simple drag-and-drop world. The answer is D, HTTP request.
HTTP request. That sounds very web developer-y. Why is a contact center engineer dealing with this?
Because modern contact centers are software platforms. They live on the web. The HTTP request node is the active integration point. It's the worker bee.
How so?
Well, think about the others. A menu node just gives you options. Press 1 for sales. Play message just talks at you. But the HTTP request sends a query out to a database and waits for a response.
It's a two-way conversation.
It's a two-way data exchange. It's how the system knows who you are and what your last order was before the agent even says hello.
So it's the difference between a static map and a live GPS.
Perfect analogy. It makes the system dynamic.
Okay, let's stick with data. Question 6. This is about how we ask for that data efficiently. The scenario. Developers need to request only specific data in a single query. They don't want the whole database, just a slice.
To save bandwidth, save processing power.
Exactly. Options: A, GraphQL; B, SOAP; C, FTP; or D, RPC.
This is a big one. It's a huge differentiator for WebEx's architecture. The answer is A, GraphQL.
GraphQL. I've heard this term a lot. What's its special sauce? Why is it better than the old ways, like SOP?
Okay, think of the old way, like REST or SOAP, as going to a restaurant and being forced to order the entire buffet, even if you just want a salad.
Okay.
You get the salad, but you also get the pasta, the soup, the dessert, and your bandwidth has to carry it all. That's called overfetching.
I see. And GraphQL is different.
GraphQL is like an a la carte menu. You write a query that asks for exactly what you want. I want the customer's first name and their last order date. And the API sends back only that, nothing more.
So it's leaner.
Much, much leaner. It's a huge performance boost, especially for mobile apps or high-volume centers. The system just moves faster.
Less baggage.
Yeah.
Got it. But what about security? You can't just leave these APIs wide open. Which brings us to question 7.
Can't leave the door open.
A third-party app needs secure access to the data. How do we let them in safely? Options: A, physical desktop access; B, authentication token; C, verbal permission.
Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not choose verbal permission.
I'm guessing A. Steve, can I see the database? Doesn't scale.
Not so much. The answer is B, authentication token. In the API world, a token is the digital key. When an app knocks on the door, it presents this token. The system checks it, verifies identity, authorization,
And then lets it in.
If the token is valid, it ensures security policies are followed. It's completely digital. It has nothing to do with physical access or analog phone lines. It's the bouncer at the club checking the wristband.
No wristband, no entry.
Precisely.
All right, final stretch. Deep dive part 4. The future. That 25% of the exam on AI. Question 8 paints a very modern picture. An agent takes over a complex call that's been going for 20 minutes. They need to get up to speed in seconds. Which AI feature does this?
This is one of the most practical uses of Gen AI we're seeing.
Options: A, sentiment analysis; B, topic analytics; C, conversation summarization; D, agent wellness.
The answer is C, conversation summarization.
Does exactly what it says on the tin.
It does. This is under AI-powered interaction analytics. Instead of an agent scrolling through pages of transcript, the AI generates a concise summary.
Like customer upset about billing, requested refund, supervisor approved.
Boom. Exactly. The agent knows the whole context in 3 seconds. It's like clicks notes for the call.
And that's different from sentiment analysis.
Very different. Sentiment analysis is cool. It'll tell you the customer is angry, but it won't tell you why. And topic analytics might say the topic is billing, but it doesn't give you the story. Summarization gives you the narrative. It's a huge boost.
And it solves that problem where you, the customer, have to repeat your whole story to the second person.
Right. It solves the I just told the other guy all of this problem.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Go crush that exam. See you in the next one.